And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And, folks, we got a great show today. It's going to be a special. I have everybody on deck, and we're going to discuss what's going on in the country today. And I want to send a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year out to those watching the show. Go out and celebrate and enjoy your time with your family. But if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in. And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And first, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I want to welcome everybody to the show. Well, folks, this is the holiday season. This is Christmas Eve, and I know a lot of people are getting together for the holiday, and I wish everybody well. You know, this is a time when we should sit back and reflect coming up to the new year on the things that we want to do in 2026. And I think for us as the Black community that we've made a lot of strides as far as letting the world know that we still are a huge voting base. The Black community is alive and well, and we need to start exercising our voting rights and make sure that we put politicians in the office that will be held accountable and, more importantly, have some type of damn morals and scruples and care about the people. This is totally ridiculous of what we've seen, especially here in the last 4 years under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They almost destroyed America with the open borders, the illegal use of our programs. This is what's going on in Chicago and every major blue city. To the American people and patriots across this country, the Democrats have used our welfare system and every other program that they can to sack this country, giving our money to illegals and yet telling Americans, oh, we don't have it. Telling Black people, well, you don't need reparations because we don't know how we're going to be able to distribute the money. But you've spent trillions of dollars on the migrants. And here it is, right here, in the time of this Christmas time, and there's Americans still sleeping under the viaducts in the city of Chicago and all the other major blue cities, American citizens, and we got illegals over here living off of our money, living, and then treating us as if we owe them something when we don't owe them jack nothing. So to the American people and patriots across this country, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about restoring some American pride, not the gay pride or none of the other foolishness things. I'm talking about being proud to be an American. President Trump is in office. He's making great strides. He's making changes. And the American people, no matter what color we are, should be standing up for the key word, putting God first and putting American families first in this country so that we can reap the benefits of what we've worked for and paid tax dollars for, instead of illegals who are here and ungrateful and don't give a crap about America, but trying to change our freedoms and turn us into an Islamic state. And they're saying that, let me get my group in. What's up, Dre?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. Who else is in there? Where's the doctor? Let me see. There's a good doctor. Hey, Doc.
Hey.
Listen, guys, this is the holiday season, and, a lot of things have transpired. This is the first year that President Trump has been into office. And I'm telling the American people and patriots across this country, we should be proud to be Americans again. He done ended almost every war. He put tariffs on the companies and making them pay their just due. Economic development. Hey, Chris, economic development has become the norm again. Our country is respected worldwide. And it's a totally difference in 1 year that he has made compared to the 4 years of Joe Biden, the 8 years of Barack Obama, and all the rest of the Democratic leaders who said they love this country, but they let it go to hell in a handbasket. And that's why we saw what we saw in Minnesota. Dre, you up first. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm echoing the exact sentiment that you are right now. We definitely need to be proud to be Americans. There's been so much fraud and abuse of our immigration system for decades. And now you have a President Trump, who's actually trying to do something about it. And people are up in arms because they have the wrong idea about the United States of America. Oh, we're this melting pot that lets everybody in. No, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. We are a sovereign nation with borders. And as a sovereign nation with borders, we have the right as citizens of this country to say who and how many get
in. Doc?
Well, it's sad, the fraud that's going on, but it's almost like it's a jump off point, because now other states are starting to say, well, we've got massive fraud as well. I mean, in California, they have like $54 billion, which is a drop, it makes Minnesota look like a drop in the bucket. So there's always been fraud in these entitlement programs, but I really don't think the federal government considers the massive amount of fraud. And now that we actually do have an administration putting forth, especially with the USDA, to audit these different state agencies that actually transition the money on the behalf of the state, they know exactly who they can pinpoint. And it's very telling, because a lot of these states that are in the hot seat, they don't want to turn over their information. Like, they're fighting against it in court. And then there are other states that do receive USDA funds. They're fine. They're sending over their information. They're like, hey, audit us. Here's our information. Go through our books and you'll see that the money's going where it's supposed to go. So all of this is very telling. But it's going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out.
Randy?
Merry Christmas, everyone. I would say this. The greatest Christmas gift that the American citizens can have is if we eliminate the fraud by making everyone who is currently in the welfare system reapply. And they would have to, and then it becomes a federal program instead of a state-driven program. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Binky?
Well, the biggest problem with fraud is government getting too big and doing what they're not supposed to be doing. The general welfare clause isn't about taking care of America. It ain't about taking care of people. The general welfare clause was explained many times as referring to reminding government of their limitation. It isn't not expansion. So what they've done is they keep, government grows itself by creating agencies. And with these agencies, you got to fund them. Okay, so your tax dollars are going up because now the state says, oh, well, we'll create this. Or the federal government says, we'll create that. Now you got a government that keeps getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. And if everybody stops to think, who controls our lives, what we do, what we eat, what we drink, what we drive, what everything is regulated by the state or federal government. there's your problem right there, because you're opening them agencies up where they can commit fraud.
Yeah.
They want to do favors for each other, the Somalis and whatever, you know. Well,
You're not wrong.
And folks, let me say this, guys, to you, those watching the show. Pastor has always been talking about how we must get into the game. If you're not at the table where things are being done and decisions are being made, you virtually have no ears or no mouth, no nothing, and no matter how much you complain, you can get nothing done. And I wanna let our viewers and listeners know, I am running for mayor of Chicago in 2027, and we're gonna win, and we're gonna change the city. But I say to our panel and people that we know, Lucretia Hughes has done something big. Outside the fact that we are fighting tooth and nail on her case to save her home, folks, and she has done a tremendous job. There's been some tough times, but we're going to weather this storm and win. But she got a opportunity and was appointed to the NRA, that's the National Rifle Association, as one of their high representatives. And let me tell you, people, a position like that would allow her to make changes in the community to help fight for the Second Amendment. These positions are very highly sought after, and our own Lucretia is going to be indoctrinated in the January. Lucretia, you talk about it. You take it. It's your floor.
Like you said, Pastor, you know, we just moved again to make sure we get up here with our mom. So I was really kind of sad and did a show. And then next thing I knew, I had a phone call from one of the secretaries, and he said, "Do you mind? We have a couple of people that's retiring, and you got one of the highest votes getters. Do you mind going ahead and being a board of directors member?" So of course I said, "Fuck yeah!" And so I don't think it's hitting me what this position entails. I don't think it has hit me yet, because I've been around these people for at least 7 years now, and to be able to be behind the closed doors, I don't think it has hit me the responsibilities and the opportunities that this just it's just open for myself, my mom, and Dave. So I'm going to do the best I can, and also take y'all strong advice in different areas, because I did sign up for ethics, the legislation committee, women's committee, outreach committee, ethics committee. So those are my 5 top committees that I really want to get onto. But I really, speaking of a department that just opened in the United States, Trump opened up a 2A department. I want that department. I want to be a part of that department. I know that when he was running for office, I was one of the people for the 2A gun rights that stood up for him, and he actually announced that. So if I can get myself in the White House or on that administration or in that department, protecting and upholding the Second Amendment, I am going to do it.
And like I said, we're so happy for you. We will, at your beck and call, be there for you as we make this transition, and collectively. And that's why
I got one thing. I need it's a tire. I'm just going to be honest. Being evicted and seeing your stuff thrown out on the sidewalk, in the grass, you don't get time to collect anything. So all of the addresses that everybody has collectively given me over the years to get to the White House, to get to the executive building, to go around the nation and speak, I had to leave a lot of that behind. So many people haven't seen me an address in about 7 months, because I have none. But I don't think I can rock my sweatshirts in a board meeting. So y'all get on over there and help us.
Hey, if Senator John Fetterman could wear a hoodie. And
yes,
to the Senate.
You can make it a thing. I'm just saying.
Yep, make it a thing.
Make it a thing, and just like if you got a blazer, I'm just saying, cut off the sleeves. You know what I mean? And put your arms through it with a hoodie on the back and rock that, and just start a new trend. I'm just saying, he's doing it.
And while we on the subject of, I believe in getting things done. In the past, I've known leaders like Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all of those guys who always talked about loving the Black community, but never really doing or producing anything to help it. And I want to give my kudos out to Dr. Shack. I requested that she put something together the other week, and to the American people and patriots across this country, I'm looking for national support with you guys. We want to repeal the 1994 crime bill.
Good.
And I mean, in its total entirety, it needs to be repealed because of the fact that we all know that it was targeted specifically for the Black community. We also know that it was unconstitutional when they wrote it. We also know Joe Biden put everything in there except the kitchen sink to arrest Black men. Bill Clinton signed the bill. They made prisons private where all the judges and lawyers could invest into that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have thousands and thousands of young Black men who have been locked up behind this crime bill. And I want to thank Doc for getting the first draft together with the Redemption Party. And I think that's something that as a people, and I think Black people have to understand this. I want to get you guys started on this. We are at a crossroads for the Black community. The Black community came out and showed the Democrats that we no longer going to put up with your lies and the BS that you've done. And basically, you've opened the borders and allowed these people to take over the Black community, give them dollars that we never had an opportunity to get. And I think from this point, as a Black nation, we ain't no more Black people. We are a Black nation. As a Black nation, we need to have our own party. We really do. And I said this a few years ago at a big event in Chicago.
I got to raise my hand. It better not be Jamal Bryant nowhere near.
No.
Be none of these scallywags that is out there that are wolves in cheap clothing offering Black men reefer in to come to church. It better not be none of these pimps in the pulpit, because they are not leaders unless they're going to be leading the Black community to hell. These are the same people that you're talking about that's allowing the WAP on a radio. When I was growing up, we couldn't hear none of that. I don't want this anymore. I don't want that old we are now that generation that's supposed to be on the porch. So we are a whole separate herd of people, and we're never going to amount to them or mold ourselves to those people. Those are the aldermen in good times. They do for the community, but every time there's a voting coming up, they'll slip you something. This is John Podesta, WikiLeaks 101. Don't worry about the Black community. Democrats throw a couple of more dollars in their welfare check. It's time to have a taco bowl because the Black people ain't having enough babies. So open up the border. So they got played. We need to have an American party.
This is what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is this: everybody has their own, except Black people. You know, in the white community, you will go and you'll see economic development. They're thriving. They take care of each other. Beautiful homes, businesses opening up every day. They got their own banks. They got everything. My question to the American people and patriots across this country: why doesn't the Black community have the same stuff? How come we can't have it and we're the biggest consumers on the face of the planet? And that's why I say
you got to have somebody to consume. That's the problem. We live in a caste system here in America. Yes. Somebody's got to be at the bottom, own nothing and like it, right? But continue to consume. Like, this is where we are. It's a mindset.
But the thing of it is, the point that I'm making, I'm gonna let you expound on this. You guys talk about this. What I'm saying is this: every time the Black community pull together and they shut out people and they start reinvesting into their own communities, then it's a cry for racism. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't see Black businesses in Little Mexico, and I don't see Black businesses up north in the white community. I don't see Black businesses in Egypt, in Little Egypt, and all that.
We continue to tear each other down. Colorism, or you acting too white, or you trying to get out of the culture, or you want to get out of the hood. You trying to be somebody. I'm over that. It's
you
so many Black people that try to save the community. Let's take Ice Cube, for example, with $500 million given back to the historical Black colleges. He stepped out there to get money from Donald Trump so Black colleges never have to beg again. And what happened? Joe Biden and the Democrats came in there and made y'all grovel again. Made
You know what?
Colleges.
Now that's another show, because the $500 million that President Trump gave to the Black colleges, it needs serious oversight, or the money is going to be gone, just like the $25 billion that the Divine Nine took. $25 billion and sold the Black community out, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why they're in political positions to control the money. See, that's
I was part of the Small Business Administration when it came to the PPP loans. I was at every Zoom call when it came to the shutdown of the scamdemic of it all. I made sure I got out there and told people, Black people, white people, listen, you need a PPP loan. This is what Donald Trump is getting ready to happen. What happened now in the Black community? You see more Black leaders being arrested for money laundering, fraud, and everything.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
we can't work with these people.
But you're making my point. Exactly what I'm trying to convey is this: Doc has the Redemption Party. We can use that party to be just like everybody else's party. We need an outlet. We need a third party. Black people, we need our own party that's going to benefit us. And that's what I'm talking about. We're in a place where we need to start moving forward, because if you don't trust the Republicans, we know we can't deal with the Democrats. So we're going to have to figure out something new, a vehicle that Black people can use and become a nation and a strong voting base. Just like we voted, we have to put these votes together and be on one page, and then we can elect and do and send people to Congress the way we want to, and Black people votes will be respected again. Randy?
I agree. There is I agree with Lucretia there, and with the idea that and Dr. Shack, that we have to first change our mindset, change the mentality before we can build or do anything as a unit, as a nation, as a culture. Because the problem that we have is when you have a business, and say you're a Black-owned business, and you go to the Black community, you say, "Will you support my business?" It's always a whiff 'em factor. And what I mean by whiff 'em factor is, it's a what's in it for me. And it's like, well, nothing right now, but because I'm trying to get off the ground, and people don't want to support that. And then you turn around and say you do get established in a white neighborhood, a Hispanic neighborhood, and whatnot. The Blacks that see that, they would say, "Oh, look at here, they're sell out, they're coon, they're cookie, and all this stuff." And you lose motivation after a while. Then you say, "You know what? Why am I doing this? I'm gonna give up and go back into that fold." So it's a mindset change, it's a mentality change, and that's what needs to happen first, is education, and through that domain before things can change, before we can do anything else. Rather,
Andre, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that we're going to need to do is we're going to have to focus on the family. There's a problem in the Black community as far as the stabilization of families. A lot of times we're talking about how do we fix some of the issues. Well, a lot of Black families are not growing. They're not replacing the population because there's no incentive to do so. Like, we have all these abortion programs. You have a decrease in the amount of people that are married. And on top of that, we have a system that has penalized the men whenever there's like a dispute amongst the children. We see like the men with like high child support payments that they can't handle, and the families in disarray. So one of the things that we're going to have to do immediately is create incentives for people to have families. This is what the Trump administration is doing. Yes. And we're going to see an increase in the amount of people that are having kids now, because there's going to be some incentives there and some safety nets. But with the way it has gone for the last couple of decades, there's no way we can really climb ourselves out of the barrel, because we're getting pulled down because there are groups of people that don't like each other. We're getting pulled down by all these abortion clinics. We're getting pulled down by immigration policies that don't benefit our communities. And people are asking, well, why can't Black people do it? Well, it's one step at a time. Let's fix the immediate problem that's in the community, which is the family.
Mr. Binky?
Well, I can't see, hear me out here. I can't see it becoming united if we divide. I understand what you're getting at by having a Black representation, because I don't agree with the Republican and just Democratic Party. So yes, we need representation, but also we need education.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a white and Black thing no more, like Lucretia said. Well, we're past all that. Okay, we've got to become united in thinking. We've got to be united in going for the same goal. The same goal is making this country better for everybody. And that's eliminating Black and white and Hispanic and Asian and thinking united. I mean, we didn't go through a civil war, white people dying to free Black people because it was a thing. It was something that had to happen for equality for everybody to become united, because we had people that were separated. So I'm not against what you're saying, Pastor Lowry, at all. I just look at it that it sounds like we're trying to divide people by creating a single.
Doc, you want to take that?
Well,
Sure.
I'm just saying, you know, that's why I say I can't see how we could be united if we're divided.
Well,
Well-
let me say this before you say this, Doc. And what I mean by that is this. The Black community needs to self-heal. And just like everybody else, we need to heal ourselves first, and then we'll be able to deal with everybody else. So what I'm saying is, let the Black community become the Black community for real. Let us have our own banks. We create our own banks. We create our own schools, just like everybody else. I'm not asking for anything different. I'm saying that we need our own vehicle that can take care of ourselves, because in the Bible, it talks about God blesses a child that has its own. The Black community is not being blessed because we don't have our own. We have no economics. We don't have control of our schools. We don't have control of our families. We don't have control of our nothing. And so just like the white community is self-contained, it has everything that it needs to live and survive and to pass generational wealth on. The Black community is not in that same position, and it should be, but it's not. And so that's why I'm saying, let us heal first. Let Black people serve Black people. Let them have their own stores. Let them have their own schools, just like everybody else. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, so in creating the Redemption Party, that's why I have it based on tenets and not ideology. Yes, it is a place for Black Americans to come, but I've always told people, if we carry the majority in the party, then that's what the majority of the party will be. But if the majority of the party is Caucasian, then that's what the majority of the party will be, because the party is based on tenets, not ideology. It is about fiscal responsibility, limiting federal government to empower local government, one community at a time. And I've also explained to people in the Black community when I'm on X, look, if you're in the Democratic Party and you want to make changes in the party, then stay there and make those changes and create a seat for us. Republican Party, the same thing. Libertarians, the same thing. Other independent parties, the same thing. Because guess what? We're going to need to be in all these spaces, because there are different views from different Black Americans in all of these spaces. So create a table that's a bigger table than just one party, because what I don't want to see is a bomb go off and it destroyed again. If you read the pledge on the website, yes, it does address reparations, but it also addresses taking care of everyone in the community that you serve in as a candidate. That is your job, right? That's your job. So I've given candidates a position, and a job, not an ideology. And that's what separates the Redemption Party from any of these other parties out there. It's more than a mindset, it is a movement, because without movement, we're not going to get anywhere. I understand what you're saying, Pastor, because it is very sad. But we do have banks. We do have construction companies. We do have schools. We have all of these things. We just don't know where they are, but they're not being supported on a global stage. So we know where everybody is. So we actually can't interact with one another. But here's my thing. Every time Black people say, okay, we want to come together, it's like, the Negroes is having a meeting. We can't have that. And that needs to stop, because everybody else can have a meeting amongst their own to enrich their own. But when we want to have a meeting, it's a problem. That's what I have the issue with. It shouldn't be a problem, because if we are stronger Americans in our silos, because I'm going to have issues different than another ethnicity. I just am, because I'm a different person. We have different conversations. But as Americans, right? As Americans, we can agree a livable wage, food to eat, and, proper schooling and education for our children. We can agree on those things. What they look like are different because we are in different communities.
Randy?
To Dr. Shank's point, she's absolutely right. Every time there's a Black meeting called, people are offended. People are offended. It's an issue.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Tim Walz, I can't even give that man enough respect to call him a governor. Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, up there in Minnesota, said we didn't want to disrupt what was going on with the Somali community because we didn't want to offend them. Well, God damn it, I would say this.
I love it.
But Black America, it's time for us to stop being offended too. The rest of America, don't be offended. Don't offend us when we want to have a meeting now. Because if the Somalis up in Minnesota and the Somalis up in Dearborn, Michigan, if they can have a meeting and not be disrupted, hey, what about us too? So that's where I'm at on that. So we're not gonna be offended anymore.
I want to explain why I brought up about not being united by dividing, is because Dave and I have talked about this before. Yeah. The Black community is against the Black community. They're dividing themselves.
Thank you.
You're right.
Yeah. Prior to the Civil Rights Act, the Black community was for each other. And I wanted Dave to explain what he, because he had to explain it to me the first time. So I figured, well, I'm going to bring that up so people that are listening will understand what Dave's trying to get to. And I'm 100% with Dave on the fact is that the community had their own community and they got along just fine. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Black community needs to put together again. And things will be fine. Will be better.
Yep.
Right. That's why I say with the Redemption Party, we build coalitions. Right. Yes. I'm okay to work with different people in different parties because they have different vantage points that can actually work to our benefit. But it's breaking down that barrier. Well, there's a D behind my name or an R. It's like, stop that. Yeah. You're in a different room than I'm in. And it's good because we need to know those conversations that are going on.
Yeah, I'm not finna sit down with people that hate me. They might spit out food. That's crazy.
I gotta do that all the time.
You keeping your enemy tighter. That's why you got stab wounds in the back. We're not playing that anymore. I'm over 51 years old. You think I'm finna play footsies with somebody that's looking over the table and I know I see Satan? No, I'm gonna get up and like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm not putting my life, my peace, and everything that I'm trying to build in life on a community that's gonna call me out my name when I walk out of a room. I'm over that now.
But here's the thing: when you are working in an office, not everybody's gonna like you, and that's okay. That's what I'm saying. I still have to work with people. I don't have to like them. They don't have to like me.
You ain't got to work with anybody. You got to be cordial.
But at least I know where they're coming from. That's the part. I have to have those conversations.
I'm not having a conversation with Jasmine Crockett. I'm not going to have a conversation with Jasmine Crockett. I'm not having a conversation with people that comes outwardly and say, I hate you. I am not going to shake hands with a snake when I know for a fact behind their back is a knife. So these people that are in power that I can see clearly with my own eyes, I am not going to sit at the table with them because there's going to be no advantage for American being united or any advantages for my 9 grandkids. So I won't do it.
My
Well,
point
like I
is
said,
to,
that's why I made the party so
and,
we
and
can
that's
have our
and
own
that's
lane. That's
and
all I'm saying.
exactly what Lucretia is saying is what I'm saying. We need the black community need to be self-healed. You're talking about 30 and 40 years of what we've seen to destroy us. And so we cannot collectively attribute anything to these two parties because they have been the parties who have helped destroy us and besides ourselves. And so that's why I say what Doc is creating with the Redemption Party will allow us a different platform to be on that we can have our own and create our own voting base. See, what they did in Minnesota was this. They got there, they got into the system, they used Ilya Omar to write legislation to protect them. They used Tim Walz to protect all the stuff that they was going to steal. They went, got all of that money. The Somalis brought more and more in, put them on the program. They was getting the program, what, $75,000, $100,000 a year on welfare, all that kind of stuff. Then they were so smart, just like you said the other day, Doc. They took the food stamp card, went to Walmart and bought all the stuff for free and put it in the stores and sold it. See, but the point that I'm making is this. They got in there and they started helping each other and they built up a small Somalia in the United States, out the entire state. The point that I'm making is, Black people, we need a vehicle that we can use like the Redemption Party that would have a Lucretia, a Mr. Binky, have a Randy, have me in it, all with ideas that can come to good for righteousness. Because neither of these parties are doing righteous. That's why I'm saying the Redemption Party, new, fresh, we can get our people in there and we can teach them about honor, integrity, and God, and all the things that everybody else say that they do, and make sure that we get righteous people in place like Lucretia and what the work Doc doing, where we get the men out of prison. That's the type of party that we need to be in. I just think the Redemption Party is going to be it because when I look at what I saw with Ilya Omar, she's an arrogant bastard. She came to this country. She lied to get here. She stole her way in. And then the Democrats let her in because she's a socialist. And then she used Black people. Again, here we go, an illegal that came to this Black community and took over the Black community. Y'all watch this.
We have to be counted as Americans. This is what this debate is about, Madam Speaker. There is this idea that you are a suspect if you are an immigrant, or if you are from certain parts of the world, or a certain skin tone, or a Muslim. It is no accident that members of the Republican Party accused the first Black president, Barack Obama, of being a secret Muslim. Well, I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa. Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced?
One of the most intense moments in Congress unfolded when Ilhan Omar...
Okay, guys, your thoughts on that, what she just said.
It's not
Lucretia?
true. It's just not true. First of all, you're not a Negro, okay? And you're not an American. You are a Somali from Africa who's a refugee who got her immigration status and got naturalized. Like, that's who you are. And you lied. You lied about your birth date. You lied about marrying your brother. You were actually married 3 times. The first one was a faith marriage, and then you married your brother, divorced him, got married legally to the father of your children, divorced him, and now you're married to a white man, and you could accuse people of being white supremacists. Like, it's bad all the way around. She needs to be removed. She's Somali first. She is not America first, and she needs to be removed from Congress. She's dangerous.
Lucretia?
Ditto. I mean, what is Kwame sitting back there looking like he all and he just listening to what? See, that's the issue right there in the Black community. Those 2 people that were sitting right behind her. It ain't nobody.
Kwasi and Fume. Yep.
That's why one reason when I testified in front of Congress, you see my head swing over to the right. Right up there was him, AOC, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I looked each and every last one of them in the eye, just scum of the earth. I can't unite with those people. I'm sorry. I never will.
Randy?
The thing with Ilhan Omar said, it was very succinct, and I'm gonna give her credit because she knows how to manipulate the system. And what I mean by the system is our Constitution. She said everything that was antithetical to what we believe in, and she flipped it back on us and said, see, we're the victim. You are using your system and your apparatus of government to target us because we're the victim. Although we're bad, although we're bad people, you're targeting us. And so it's a brilliant move, and it's a way to, say, oh, y'all be a racist. Now you gotta leave us alone. And it goes back to what Tampon Tim said. We don't want to offend them, so we just let them violate the laws. We don't want to, be seen like that. No, bump that. You're illegal. You're wrong. You're breaking our laws. Now you finna pay the piper. And to Dr. Shack's point, yes, marrying your brother should be automatic deportation and denaturalization. Yes. Automatic.
Mr. Binky.
Yeah, well, first of all, she didn't write that speech.
No, she didn't. yeah, that part.
She's not intellectually able to write something like that. And to what Randy was saying, she belongs to a party that's been trying to destroy this country for a long time. And I've spoke of that going all the way back after the Constitution was created. And she is just like most foreigners that were allowed to come here through the side door. They're here to destroy this country. And that's why they're in the Democratic Party. And that's what the Democrats are doing. So she's nothing but a liar. She was given naturalization. She can have it taken away. And again, we hear of all this stuff going on that these politicians are doing that's wrong, that they should be arrested, but they're not being arrested. So here we go. Let's poop or get off the pot.
Okay.
Right? We're either going to do our job or we're not.
I said something years ago, and I said this: y'all gonna wear out that word racism. Where it ain't gonna have the sting of the Emmett Till situation anymore. You're gonna keep saying and shouting fire in a closed theater, and it ain't gonna mean a thing. So calling a person a racist in the year of 2025, 2026, 2027 is pretty much a badge of honor. Flick that thing off because it don't mean nothing.
Well, you want to say something, Dre?
I'm gonna let you guys move on. I kind of missed part of it.
Okay.
Like, we're doing a lot of Christmas stuff, so like
I heard you.
Sorry.
So the thing of it is that here she is enlisting, trying to pull the Black community in support. Kwasi Mfume was the president of the NAACP when I was the president. He was the national president, and so I know him well. And he's nothing but a crook. That's all it is. And see, that's why I say we got to start making some moves to make sure that the Black community, the Black nation, needs to be put into a position to where we can assist our own and take care of ourselves. Well, I want to play another little clip of this with this Omar thing.
Completely flipped the situation. Instead of sympathy, Omar faced direct confrontation, and the outcome was nothing short of humiliating.
Gentleman reserves. Gentlelady from Michigan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to use that logic, well, then all those people should have just said sorry and we'd move on, right? But no, we don't do that. And let me tell you, I take a little bit of offense to what the hell is wrong with me. I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with me. I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to hold the Constitution, and it's very simple. We really shouldn't even have this debate. If you break the law and you follow due process, there are consequences to your actions, even if you say sorry. So we can try all of the diversion tactics that we would like, it doesn't change the fact that someone broke the law and that someone should be held accountable. It is disappointing, Mr. Speaker, that their own party can't hold them accountable, that they have such hypocrisy. So with that, I yield 2 minutes to my friend from New York, Nicole Malliotakis.
Gentlelady is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've heard from my colleagues the reasons why the Representative Omar should be removed from this committee, but I feel like all the reasons have not just yet been stated, which is why I rise to add for the record. We've heard about the comments that were made regarding anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli views, but I rise to add to the record that as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I've sat there and heard the representative actually spew anti-American rhetoric as well. I've been in that committee room where the representative equates Israel and the United States to Hamas and the Taliban. Absolutely unacceptable for a member of that committee. I've also heard the representative equate that it is the United States' fault that there is turmoil in Venezuela, that is not because of the oppressive socialist and communism that has spread throughout Central and South America, in Venezuela at the hands of the Maduro and Hugo Chavez regimes. That is unacceptable. And as a New York representative, to hear the representative belittle, to try to diminish the worst terrorist attack on United States soil on September 11, 2001, as some people did something, that is unacceptable as well. And I hold the same standard for this side of the aisle that I do the other, because when another colleague on my side said something about 9/11, I also voted to have her removed from the Education Committee because I thought that was inappropriate. So I'm being consistent here, and I hope my colleagues will do the same to show that this is about consistency and accountability, because we should not have an individual with those views on the committee that is tasked with representing our country and our Congress to foreign nations.
In my experience,
Okay, Dre, comment.
Well, what we're seeing is that Congress is doing something that they usually don't do. They're holding people accountable, and I don't know if that's just Trump's leadership or they're just done with Omar, but I like it. I like it because it sets a standard and it's going to show other people it doesn't matter what level that you're at. If you break the law, you're going to face consequences. And what we've seen in the past is that we haven't forced people that have been in the upper echelon of society, like Congress members or like judges. I don't know if you guys remember, there was that judge that allowed an illegal immigrant to escape the courtroom. And she's being charged now. But they're going to see if they're going to give her time, or are they just going to sweep it under the rug, give her a fine, and slap her on the wrist.
Guilty. That was a judge.
She is found guilty.
Yeah,
but now they're going to have to charge her. Now they have to charge her, and now we're going to see if she's going to do some time. So with this situation with Congress, this is them still holding people accountable. Now will they make her do time?
Lucretia?
I hope she gets kicked out of here with a white husband. There, take him over there to Somalia. Just go ahead. Because listen, when President Trump said, I called Somalia president to see if he wanted her back, they was like, no, you keep her. But President Trump was like, we don't want her either. I didn't even know until about a couple of months ago that you can actually denaturalize Ilhan Omar and get her out of here. So with Nacha Mammy up there in New York, you know, all of these people up there that's in power, House of Clout, that is sitting there making allegiance to their first country. The reason why they hyphenated America to begin with. So don't ever call me African American. I'm an American. OK, so I have my allegiance with my country. So since these people have said it out loud, why are we waiting for a trial? Why are we waiting for a hearing? Your show is no allegedly, because the internet lives forever. Show their words. If it goes against their oath as being a naturalized citizen, if it does, get them out of here.
Randy?
Absolutely. And to Lucretia's point there, yes, the Secretary Marco Rubio and company at the State Department, they got the evidence. They see what's going on with the Somalis up in Minnesota. They see what's going on with Ilhan Omar. It is very simple to say Control F, type in name. Up there's a file. Denaturalize. Hey, ICE, got some addresses for you, bro.
Yep.
What are we talking about here? You saw that was 10 minutes. So hey, that's what needs to happen. And I guarantee you, the rest of America is going to shape up, and the ones that are naturalized citizens, they're going to shape up. They're going to be like, oh, whoa, we could get deported. We could have our citizenship status removed.
Yes.
And let me act right, because I don't want that to happen. So that's what need to make some examples out of people.
People don't realize that their statuses, to your point, Randy, can be transitioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a green card, you can be transitioned to a lesser status, which makes you even more deportable, which actually will disqualify you from even going through with the process of naturalization. Naturalization is a gift. It is not a right. And I think that's the problem that Ilhan Omar has. She thinks she has a right to naturalization. No, you do not. Anyone on this soil who has been naturalized can be removed and denaturalized. Okay. Because you're not in alignment with the Constitution. You are Somali first. You are not shy about it. And that's good. I'm glad you're not shy about it, because we have multiple recordings of you. And I don't care. They keep the internet's like, well, no, that's not what she said. Interpretation got messed up. No, we didn't get any of it messed up, because then somebody else co-signed what she said. Okay, somebody else. So we're not mincing words here, but I need them to do to her what they did to George Santos. You have removed somebody from that body. Remove her and get her deported.
Mr. Binky?
Yeah, Lucretia, I want you to pay attention to this, because you're taking a pretty important role in NRA.
Yes, sir.
I want you to read Samuel Adams' Rights of the Colonists, 1772.
Can you text me that?
I think I got your number. Anyhow, it's Samuel Adams' Rights of the Colonists. Whatever government creates, it controls. Whatever government gives you, it can take away. Always remember that. Rights are not regulated. Privileges are. So when you listen to what Omar is talking about, as Dr. Nichols said, she thinks it's a right. It's not a privilege. Well, it is a privilege. It's not a right. So it can be taken away from her just as simply as it was given to her. And it sounds to me like she was stepped out of line and given privileges to get that to start with. So there's another strike against her. So again, if government gives you something, they can take it away. A right, a natural right, is something that's not regulated. It's exercised. So when Lucretia gets up there and they talk about firearms, arms is not categories. We don't have guns. We don't have rifles. We don't have assault weapons. Arms. And when she reads the natural rights of the colonists from Samuel Adams, she'll understand. We have a natural right to life. We have a natural right to liberty. We have a natural right to our property, and we have the natural right to protect all those any way we see fit. That's what was important about our Second Amendment. The right to bear arms. For what reason? For the security and safety of a free state.
Exactly.
Okay? Your rights were given to you, not by government, but by your creator. And they're not regulated. And that's when Lucretia gets up there, she's going to be facing a lot of this, because now we've got guns in the category of firearms, which is taking them out of arms.
Okay.
But you know, guys, and that's the reason why I think that a lot of Americans now need to take a look at our Constitution, because they don't understand it, nor do they know their rights. And that's what the big problem is. Once they were able to get the American citizens to think that the politicians are going to do right by them. The politicians in turn start making changes and ordinances and all sorts of little bullshit laws to offset the Constitution to protect themselves as they continue to steal.
Yeah.
You see, this is a prime example of what Omar has done. She done took the welfare system, she got it, she bought people from everywhere, millions, and they saying it could be $18 billion that's gone. All of that money is gone because of the fact that we got slack. We did not hold people to the standard of what the Constitution says. If we were doing the things and doing our jobs as politicians, this country would be fine, and we would have never seen this situation in Minnesota.
Hey,
So,
Dave,
yes.
speaking about the Constitution, I want people to understand, too, that the Constitution does not apply to the people. The Constitution applies to government. And the first 10 amendments in there are about rights. Those are the Bill of Rights was created to protect our rights. That don't give us our rights. Those were some of our rights that were given to us. Unalienable rights aren't limited. Okay? They're exercised. Government was told through the Constitution, you will not mess with these. These are to be protected. So when people say I've got constitutional rights, they're not exactly correct. You've got natural rights.
Yes, God-given rights. That's what they're called.
And to add to that, to add to Steve's point there, what people don't understand also is they need to understand the foundational documents that create the Constitution, such as I talked about on my show yesterday, the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta lays out the rights of the natural rights of man, and so some of that was extrapolated and put into the Constitution. So like the Second Amendment, that last phrase shall not be infringed.
Yes.
So any law that is talking about restricting or confiscating or limiting the rights to bear arms is an unconstitutional law.
Exactly.
Arms is not specific. Arms is anything that you deem necessary to protect yourself, your property, and even your neighbors.
It's been war for a long time, trying to inhibit the right to move, defend yourself, and communicate. That's war.
Yes, and I think that's why they destroyed the educational system, because as we came out going into high school, we had to read the preamble. We had to have a Constitution test. I mean, we had to have all of that stuff to know the Bill of Rights, the Magna Carta. All of those things were taught, and that's why I say what's going on now with the school system. That was the attack. We have to change the mindset. We got to create generations that don't know nothing about the Constitution. We have to put them on programs and make them dependent on us to survive. And that's why we're in this condition today, is because of just that. I want to play another clip. Since Omar, it's really it's ridiculous that the American people are suffering like this because of people like Ilya and Omar. And here are some of the numbers that we found.
Indictments and one guilty plea were announced yesterday as federal agents executed a search warrant on Ultimate Home Health Services, a Somali-owned home care agency. The new indictment zeroes in on the autism program called Early Intensive Developmental and Behavioral Intervention, or EIDBI, and zeroed in on housing stabilization programs. In the case of the housing stabilization programs, the Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson says defendants claim to provide housing assistance to people with mental illness or drug and alcohol problems, and they say the defendant submitted claims, provided no service. Thompson used the term fraud tourism, claiming two men from Philadelphia learned there was easy money in Minnesota, so they flew into the state, set up shop, and started billing the government. As far as defrauding the autism programs, Thompson introduced one new case of a defendant recruiting parents, getting bogus documents for a diagnosis of autism for the child. The parents would then get a kickback from the money intended to treat the autistic child.
What we're seeing is programs that are just entirely fraudulent. These aren't companies that are providing some services but overbilling Medicare or Medicaid. These are companies that are providing essentially no services. They're essentially shell companies created to defraud the program, created to submit on a wholesale level.
Now, the housing stabilization program, for one, was created with a prediction it would cost $2.6 million annually. It ballooned to $21 million in 2021 and exploded to $104 million in 2020.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys, your thought on those numbers?
It's horrible. It's worse than criminal because, like I told people on my show, there's somebody on the inside pushing the button.
Well,
Yes. They benefited from the scam on the outside, but somebody's on the inside.
Well, they already broke that down on news. I think it was Newsmax or Right Side Broadcast. They said Ellis Knows, the Attorney General, was involved. Tampon Walls, he's involved, and Ilion Omar. So the top three, they already started calling out their names. That's a lot.
Because they kept pushing out the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers kept coming forward and saying, "Hey, something's wrong here," and they were like, "Shut up," basically.
Yep, 100 mayors. 100 mayors out in Minnesota. 100 mayors, y'all. and they came forward and said, "Nah, this is BS, y'all. Look, we got the receipts." And what's happening? Nothing. I mean, that's what I'm tired of the breaking news of, oh, we exposed this. I want to see breaking news. We arrested people for these things.
Right.
That's what needs to happen.
Lucretia?
If it was one of us, CNN would have been in the bushes. A matter of fact, red boys, they throwing in flash grenades, they kicking down doors. Our black asses and Binky's white ass would have been in jail by now.
But you're not wrong.
I know.
Not wrong.
Yep.
Rules for me and not for me. Yes, that's what that is.
And then the thing of it is that she's so brazen about it. She is like, like, y'all can't catch me, y'all can't take me. And once that the media, once that they mention your name as being part of something, they got the evidence to get you. What's your thoughts, Dre?
I think that the fraud has run rampant from 21 million to 104 million. It's crazy. And they're gonna have to deal with this. But here's the thing that's different than some of the other situations. People are being arrested. Over 70 people have been arrested in connection to some of these frauds that have been happening. And in past administrations, none of that investigation was happening. None of those arrests were being made. But for that many people to be arrested and the investigation is ongoing is just crazy.
Your thoughts, Mr. Binky?
Somebody on the inside pushing the button.
Well,
Mr. Binky?
Again, as I mentioned earlier, the bigger government creates itself, the more opportunity it has to have this fraud because they got to keep funding this. Well, we need more money for that. Well, let's expand this a little bit. So it's all it's put on the backs of the taxpayer. And and our preamble to our Constitution says we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. We gave them rules, and they're not following them. So who's going to hold them accountable? It's going to be we the people who created them.
Guys, I want to play. Go ahead. I want to play this piece right quick and get your thoughts on it.
You work all fucking day. You shit. Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day, free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah, go to work for me, you animals. Work for me. Yeah, you work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes, take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you.
And this is exactly the kind of people ICE is taking down.
Randy, your thoughts on that piece?
I plead the fifth. No, but see, it's cats like that. They so emboldened. They're brazen. They're just full of themselves. And now he's on a one-way ticket to jail or overseas, back wherever. But he's not the only one. There's the smart ones. There's the smart ones that's quiet. and not saying anything and doing the exact same thing. So ICE, FBI, CIA, ATF, all of you boys out there, y'all know where these folks are. Just do me a favor. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Lucretia.
I'm getting that C4 of a plane with no trap door and just start pushing them all out. Right as you cross, just too much. Just take them over the ocean. They'll be all right. They can swim. They pirates, right? Arr.
Dre.
Well, I'm glad we're doing something about the fraud. People have been emboldened. And a lot of times when they're talking about like immigrants and the immigrant community, they're saying, oh, they're doing nothing wrong. And they're putting them on the pedestal. And anything that Donald Trump tries to do to really enforce our laws is seemed and deemed as racist or hatred towards immigrants. And no, that's not true. We have a lot of problems that we need to deal with legislatively. Donald Trump is using the executive order process to get a lot of this done, but without any long-term legislation, we're going to see a lot of this fraud continue. We're going to see a lot of people continue to make the trek across the border, because once another president comes in that doesn't have the same ideology or ideas that President Trump has about securing our nation, all the great progress that he made can be overturned. So I don't want to see that. So with this fraud, we need to wake up and understand that it starts in Congress. It starts in Congress for us to make long-term laws to prevent things like this from happening.
Mr. Menke?
No. Sadly, as of today, he's the guy who's telling the truth. Because of what Andre just talked about. He's telling us, and this ought to be a wake up. He's telling us what is actually happening out there, not just to him, but all over this country. And that's what we should be, like Andre said, securing and making sure that this gets fixed and done the right way. And as Andre said, what's the next administration going to do? What if a Democrat takes over both houses and is a president? This is why we got to start holding these people accountable to the Constitution, because they're doing whatever they want, just like these judges are doing. You got this judge over here saying that Trump can't do this. You got another judge saying Trump can't do that with ICE and all this other stuff. Nonsense. These judges have no power to be doing stuff like that. We've got to learn this. We've got to educate ourselves. If we don't, we're going to go down the tubes and quicker than what we are right now.
I want to play a little bit of this so you can see, and our listeners can see exactly what's happening in Minnesota with ICE.
That's not aggression, that's containment. Let's be real. When federal officers are surrounded, blocked, and confronted, hesitation isn't an option.
Camel pants! We're shooting them! We're shooting us! Fuck you!
What shirt?
Blue, navy, dark blue jacket.
Oh, I see, with the little fluff?
Yeah, with the pins.
Okay, he's a bitch.
You guys get out of here. You guys get out of here. You guys go hard, man!
You see a woman taken to the ground, pinned face down in the snow. Tasers are deployed. Tear gas follows as the crowd presses in. Protesters throw snowballs, and people downplay that. But in an already volatile scene, that's escalation, not peaceful protest. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara criticizes ICE, pointing to de-escalation training. Fine, local policing and federal enforcement operate under very different realities.
The unsafe or questionable tactics by other agencies that are here. We have been training our officers for the last 5 years very, very intensely on de-escalation. But unfortunately, that is often not what we are seeing from other agencies in the city.
Sanctuary policies have.
Guys, your thoughts on what this chief said? Because he's covering for the Somalis. You know that, right?
Yep. Well, they have to cover for them. They let so many of them in there. They got so much control, the Somali community, that the police force is forced to walk on eggshells. The local government officials, the mayor, the governor, they are walking on eggshells with this community because that community has garnered so much power in this concentrated area. So of course they're walking back, saying, of course they're using de-escalation tactics because they have no power to enforce the law there.
Yep.
Your thoughts, Randy?
Yeah, that's the thing is, and they're on payroll. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. They're on the payroll. You know, that police chief had no reason, no rhyme or reason at that, to sit there and say, "Oh, well, they need to be doing de-escalation tactics," and these are
right.
It'd been like, "Hey, it's under review right now what these guys did or what's alleged to happen, and you know we'll have a report in the coming future," and left it at that because guess what? At the end of the day, those ICE agents had to defend and protect themselves just like those police officers would. And he would not have sat up there. If one of his police officers would have been attacked, shot, killed, or whatever, he would not be sitting there saying, well, my police officers should have been doing some de-escalation tactics. He would have been like, no, my officers did what they had to do to protect themselves.
I think the de-escalation was the paintball guns that they were using. That seemed like de-escalation to me because they were using real guns.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think they could use the paintball to mark certain people that they wanted to come back and get. You know, because he said we get the guy, you know, with the different channel. But let me say this, you know, since all of this has happened, Lucretia, you want to comment on what the chief said?
No, I put it like this: federal has more jurisdiction and manpower than
there you go.
Local popos.
So since this,
Dave,
go ahead. Go ahead, Bing.
That police chief or whomever he is, he needs to be removed.
Yes,
because he took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. I don't care what ruling the Supreme Court said that the states don't have to enforce federal law. Okay, that statement wasn't saying that he can go ahead and help ICE, not sit there and tell his force we're going to de-escalate instead of enforce and help the situation because the illegal immigrants are in the wrong.
Yes.
Yep.
His job is to keep the peace.
Right.
He's not keeping the peace. He's sitting there encouraging people to revolt. So he needs to be removed.
And you're so correct, Mr. Biggie, because it's this simple. To the American people and patriots across this country, you would think that no matter what party it is, whether it's Democratic or Republic, the first agenda, the first thing at hand is to protect the Constitution and the American people and the American way of life. That's what the Democrats, Republicans, and all people, law enforcement, when they take that oath and put their hand on the Bible, that's what they should be doing. That should be their first and foremost thing, is the concern for this country and the American people that live in it. I want to play something, Dre. We talked about the new immigration laws, and this is what Donald Trump has done with immigration. He's made some changes.
Today's video, we've got a breaking, must-see development heading straight out of Congress that affects millions of people living in the United States, especially green card holders, immigrants, and anyone tied to U.S. immigration policy. If you or someone you know has ever held a visa or permanent residency, you need to watch this all the way through because the rules are changing and the consequences could be enormous. This is American Visa Update, and we focus on the legal and policy changes that impact rights, personal status, and daily life in America. Today, we're talking about an immigration law that just passed, one that has people across the world talking, reacting, and scrambling for answers. Every few years, Congress changes something that affects immigration, Visa categories, green card procedures, asylum rules, work permits, fees, and eligibility. But rarely does a new law pass that forces immediate action from current lawful permanent residents, the people often referred to as green card holders. Yet that's exactly what's happening now. Let's break it down in the clearest way possible. What the law says, what it means, who it affects, what you must do right now, and what could happen next. First, let's be clear. No U.S. government policy exists in a vacuum. In 2025 and 2026, immigration policy has been shifting rapidly. We've seen changes in travel bans, expanded enforcement practices, new fee structures, and altered processing timelines across the immigration system. The law Congress just passed ties into all of this, and it centers on permanent residents, green card holders, and makes changes that require urgent attention. Tagavi Immigration Law +1. So, what is this new law? What exactly did Congress pass? The truth is, the specific law you're hearing about merges several legislative efforts and policy changes that have been moving through both chambers of Congress. Some aspects are interpreted online as a new immigration law, but others are tied into broader immigration reforms, visa category adjustments, and enforcement provisions that have just now been finalized or updated heading into 2026. The biggest piece affecting green card holders relates to changes in immigration processing, eligibility requirements, documentation rules, and potential consequences for failure to comply with new federal requirements. Tagavi Immigration Law. One of the headline components is tied to a shift away from old policies that offered automatic extensions or predictable processing. Instead, the law and associated federal policy updates has introduced new obligations for permanent residents, from proving status more frequently to adhering to new documentation requirements, electronic filing systems, and more rigorous scrutiny during interactions with immigration authorities. Many of these changes began rolling out in 2025 and are now entrenched in 2026 procedure.
Okay, guys, your thoughts on this?
I hate AI videos.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. I got to get out. Dre, your thoughts on it up.
So what's happened with the shooting at Brown University? Trump decided that he was going to put a hold on the green cards that were coming in to the country. And on top of that, there are 19 countries we're just not accepting green cards from right now. And there's a reason why we're doing this. And on top of that, so there's the 19 countries, there's the pause on green cards. And on top of that, we are in a situation where we are, sorry, I'm looking at this right now. We're in a situation where we are processing and trying to clean up what happened in the previous administration. And now some of those people that got these green cards during that administration are also going to be scrutinized and vetted. And this is the process that people should have been going through in the first place. There's been like all these reports of fraud, and now the Trump administration is doing something about it. Like, if you guys heard in the news the other day, they arrested 1,000 illegal immigrants in response to the Laken Riley Act and honoring Laken Riley in Minnesota. They also are offering people a one-time deal, $3,000 in a plane ticket if you leave before the end of the year. These tactics are working. The $1,000, we've had over 1.9 people leave the country voluntarily. So what we're trying to do overall is lower immigration in this country, because it's costing us a lot of money. It's costing us a lot of problems. We're seeing a lot of crime, and it's also emboldening people to come to the country illegally.
Yeah.
And even with the another thing that he did, he paused the diversity lottery. So there's an immigration lottery program where people put their name in a hat and they're able to come in the country from countries that they deem as not having enough representation. The problem is that they're not vetting these people, as we see with the person from Brown University who killed 2 professors because he killed the professor at Brown, and they believe that he killed another professor at MIT. So we're in a situation where they're trying to clean this mess up. And I think that Donald Trump's approach is spot on. It's going to get a lot of disapproval from a lot of people that are just like, oh, this is too harsh. You guys can.
Your thoughts, Randy?
I would say this. You know, I keep hearing the argument. I'm here in Texas, right? I'm in Austin, Texas. And I keep hearing this argument, you know, well, yeah, people came over here. There's people here illegally, but they've been contributing and doing the right thing ever since. Why don't we just let them stay? Give them amnesty. Okay, let's give you this logic. If I went in and robbed a bank and I took that money and I bought a house, you know, get donated to charity and everything else, I did the right thing ever since then. You know, I broke the law, yeah, but I did the right thing ever since. Do I get amnesty? So
no, you get the jail cell.
Yeah, exactly. And people say, well, you're doing moral equivalency. Yeah, it is, because a law is a law, and if you break the law, you broke the law. You're a criminal. Period. Right. So miss me with that, and I get it. I do get it. People came here for better opportunities and all that good stuff. I understand that. Great. I applaud your efforts. However, if you are here and because here's the thing about. Let me back up. Here's the thing about illegal immigrants. Number one, you're infringing on my rights and my citizenship, because now I'm in the lottery for jury duty. I go vote and everything else. You can't do these things as illegal, paying taxes and stuff. You can't do these things as a legal immigrant. So in this country, or in any country for that matter. So why is it that you get these special privileges and I don't? It's just crazy to me. It's mind blowing. So no, you don't get amnesty. No, you get the hell out of the country and you apply and come in the right way. If you don't make it, you don't make it. Sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Lucretia?
I think a lot would change if they pushed all these people out of the hood side of town and push them in the gated community side of town. I think a lot would change. We would get it back on track. And I appreciate Donald Trump. I've been hearing it on social media and seeing it. I got to reapply for benefits. I got to reapply and do this and that. I got to reapply. That's the only way they're going to be able to stop a lot of this waste, fraud, and abuse, is to make everybody reapply. And then once everybody have to reapply, the illegals and the undocumented won't be eligible to begin with.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Binky?
Well, it's been talked about for well over 40 years of stopping immigration totally. We've been allowing over 1 million a year to come in here. And then we had immigration problems back in '86 under Reagan, under his administration, and they did an amnesty back then, Randy. They gave amnesty to 3 million people and says no more. People are going to follow the rules. Well, it didn't happen. So now we had, in the last 10 years, 15 years, we've had upwards of probably 40 million people coming in here illegally and staying. So as far as I'm looking at, we need to stop immigration right now, fix what problems have been created, make sure that the rules are set in stone. As Andre said, make it set in stone legislatively, which it is, enforce that, and then open immigration back up and adjust it so we're not bringing too many people in, and we can keep everybody vetted. We can keep control of the people coming here. Because 9/11 happened for one reason and one reason only.
That's right.
We allowed people to come here and they got lost in our country, unaccounted for.
Yes.
Look what they did. So,
and guys, you know what? That is so true. And, you know, that's why I say it's going to take new leadership. That's why I'm urging, you know, you young guys, regular citizens, don't think that you can't learn how to be a good politician. It starts with integrity and honesty. And if you're a good, honest person, then and you keep it that way, then you would be a good candidate to run for office. You don't need a college degree. You don't need none of that stuff. You just got to have love for this country and the love to do the right thing. Y'all, I'm going to play this last video, then we're going to get out of here. Check it out.
I think Mr. Bingham.
Please don't deport me.
Ejecto-cedo, cuz. Just hear those sleigh bells ting-a-ling-a-ring, ting-a-ting-a-ling-a-ting-a-too. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding-dong. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with a
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
You work all day, you don't got shit. Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day, free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah, go to work for me, you white animals. Work for me. Yeah, you work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes.
What's wrong with you people?
You can elect a person who wants the Sharia.
Here's the point. In an entire ummah of 1.5 billion people, we are the only Muslims who have the political clout to change the system legally from within.
No. Wait. Political engagement about the establishment of a Islamic political system entity to enact, these realities of the Sharia.
We have about 225 Muslim elected officials in the country. Today we have 35 offices for care nationwide. Tell me what you're doing different to help Islam to have deeper roots in this country and for the next generation to be ready to take over, inshallah.
You're not even from here. You're not even from this country.
Let us bring about a revolution. If every one of us, brothers and sisters, we are in this audience over 10,000. If every one of us made it our goal that I'm going to change the minds of 10 people, I'm going to change the minds of 10 of my colleagues, 10 of my friends, 10 of the people I associate with in the next year. That would automatically mean 100,000 people are now seeing the world from a different perspective. If all the Muslims of America did the same thing, what would happen? We would literally bring about a political and cultural revolution. This is our job in this country.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Wait for it. Here it comes. And white Americans will soon be a minority, and that's great.
Whites will not be the majority. I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and progress of our country.
Right.
I proclaim the name of the Lord Jesus Christ over the
I know her.
capital of Texas.
I know her.
I stand against Islam and the false prophet Muhammad. Islam will never dominate the United States, and by the grace of God, it will not dominate Texas.
I was down the street when that happened that day.
Wow.
I know her. I know who she is.
So, Randy, let's talk about that. What happened that day?
So, the Texas Capitol. This was actually this year. This was this year when it happened. In the summer, in the springtime. So they had a Muslim day at the Texas Capitol here, and they had a rally on the steps. And I'm not gonna say her name for her protection and safety, but she came out the crowd and did what she did right there. And although she is a well-known like activist here, but just for a national audience, don't I want to put her out there like that. But her and others done the same thing. So that was just an isolated piece. But there's others that do the same thing. And for people that don't understand, civilization jihad, I want you all to look that up, ladies and gentlemen. Civilization jihad is a tenet within the Islamification of the United States, meaning that their intent is to come in and infiltrate by taking over political office, city governments, and stuff like that. And they transform the laws, change the laws to implement Sharia law. And for those who say, if you hear a Muslim, it's in their scriptures to lie to you, to get you to conform to their belief system. And so if you're not a scriber, if you don't believe in, or if you don't follow the Sharia law and whatnot, and their beliefs, you are deemed as what's called
infidel.
Yeah, thank you, an infidel. Yes, exactly, an infidel, an enemy. And what infidel means is an enemy of them, of the state.
Yes.
And so, folks, you need to wake up and pay attention to these things, because that's what's going on right now, and we're at the forefront of a cultural revolution right now, and this is what's happening.
Lucretia,
Randy, I have a quick question for
Yes,
you
sir.
about that. I get these reports on like social media that Texas has like outlaw Sharia law. Is that true, or
No, what they're doing is they're trying to ban what's called epic cities, and epic city, I can't remember the whole entire name of it, but what it is these little enclaves that they're putting in where it's like housing and a mosque just for Muslim communities. And so they're doing that. They put Governor Abbott declared CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist organizations, just like President Trump did a few weeks ago. So they're doing those kind of things, but to try to actually ban Sharia law, there's talks of that. So, Representative Chip Roy, he got legislation in the House right now to where they're going to try to do a ban on Sharia law in the United States. But the problem is with that is it's only speaking to foreign nationals and not actual American citizens who are converting to practice Sharia law. So there's conversations happening that are addressing that issue right there as well. So technically, no, there's no ban on Sharia law, because constitutionally, and that's the other thing, they use the Constitution against us.
Yes.
Constitutionally, you cannot ban a religion.
Yep.
But the practices of certain things, you can't go around shooting people because they don't believe in your religion. Those are the aspects that we're trying to address. So the Sharia law, yeah.
Every knee will bow and every tongue shall confess. Romans 10:9-10 is what I'm going to rest on. So the rest of this, let the chips fall where they may. I got a promise. They got hell.
Amen.
Dre?
Man.
Andre?
Oh, I think I went first, but yeah, I don't think that what we saw in the video is exposed enough, because a lot of times people are putting like illegal immigrants and immigrants in general on a pedestal, like they can do no wrong. And from these videos, we see the fraud, we see the abuse, we see the hatred that's coming out of that community. And what happened in past decades of immigration waves, you saw that people were assimilating. You saw that people that were coming to the country weren't getting any benefits, and they had to pick themselves up by their own bootstraps. That's not happening anymore. Basically, we're having a lot of people that are coming in and they're becoming wards of the state, or they're not being vetted, and we're seeing all this fraud and abuse. So from these videos, this is a different take than what is shown on the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is just showing you how evil, in parentheses, ICE is, and how their tactics are too harsh, but they're not seeing what's leading up to this enforcement. They're not seeing that people are citizens and non-citizens are attacking ICE agents. No one's talking about that. They're just looking at how these people are affected, and people are getting into their own feelings. But we have laws on the books that are supposed to protect us. And I'm glad that you showed these videos. As offensive as some people might find them, I think there's some truth to a lot of the things that are in there.
Mr. Binky?
Yeah, well, it's the old saying, divide and conquer. You know, you come in here, if you and I'm going to go back and blame the Democrats because of what I've researched. But you come in here, you don't like what's going on. You come in, you divide the community, divide the people, either by color, by religion, whatever. And then you come in and you conquer it. You know, the fall of, I can't remember who the Russian was, or somebody said back in the 60s that the United States don't have to worry about it, communism destroying it, because it'll come from within, you know.
Yes.
And when you divide and conquer, that's what you're doing. You're destroying what we once had together. So that's what that guy was talking about. You know, you talk to 10 people and convince them, and you know, before you know it, we can conquer. We can take it over.
And guys, I want to thank you for tuning in and coming on the show, man. It's the Christmas Eve, and I want to let you guys get out of here. Quick last words for the people, Lucretia, so we can get out of here and get on our holiday festivities.
It's beginning to look a lot like Trump is. Everywhere we go. Okay, I'm gonna stop, y'all.
Go ahead, Dre, your last words.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone that's watching. I want to really push everyone. We're getting closer to 2026, and we're going to have elections. We have to work hard to put the right people in office. We have to get legislation passed before Donald Trump leaves office. And it starts in 2026, putting in the groundwork for people that are going to vote the right way. I'd also like to push back against any like harsh rhetoric against ICE, and wish all the ICE officers a very merry and safe Christmas. They're out there working and they have a very hard job, and I just wish them all the best.
Mr. Binky, your last words, we can get out of here.
Yeah, well, if you want to make a difference, you can start at your school boards. You can start at your cities, your county boards. Turn off mainstream media. Open up some books. Get on the internet. Educate yourself on what this country is about, why it came about, and why you need to be part of it to protect it and keep it what it is.
Last words, Randy.
First off, I want to thank you, Pastor Lowry, for putting together a fantastic show today and panel. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. Be safe out there. You can follow me on all social media platforms at RPerm. That's RPURHAM. And you can check out my show, Permanent Associates, right here on Let the Truth Be Told Network, and wherever you get your podcasts and Substacks and all that good stuff. And God bless you all. And also, you can check out my website at rperm.com.
Guys, I want to thank you for being in. You guys have a great time. Have a great Christmas. And we'll be coming back next week to do what we need to do to keep our public informed. Folks, I want to thank you for tuning in. It's Christmas Eve, and I suggest people go and be with their families. I want to give a condolences out to my two children, Felicia Brown and Devon Brown, a.k.a. Sharky. Their mother, Nell Brown, passed away. This was one of the loves of my life. We have two beautiful children together, and we'll be praying for, and I'm going to ask for your prayers for my family as we go through this, my children, the Brown family. We send our condolences, and Nell, we love you. You're always going to be in our hearts. I'm always going to love you. We have two beautiful children together. God bless you. God bless America, y'all. And let us remember, let us put God first and understand why we're here. It's not about the material things. It's not about the money, the cars. It's about families. It's about praising God. It's about understanding Christ and seeking salvation through him. God bless you. You guys have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week or either Friday. Peace to the world. God bless.